31 days, 31 seeds, encouraging lives by sowing seeds of hope and determination. Day 8. How does silence make you feel? When there are long pauses, long moments of silence, does it make you feel awkward? Does it make you feel anxious? Or spaces that aren't filled? One example I will give is when my mother's adopted mother passed away. We had been taking care of her for 8 to 10 years. When she passed, and we needed to remove the hospital bed from the house and the recliner that helped her stand up, and all of the things that helped her function and have quality of life when she was alive. Once we removed all those things from the house, there was so much space. So much silence. It felt odd. It was an adjustment. Have you experienced that? Have you experienced emotion behind silence? Or a space that somehow was left in your life that you were not used to having? I've noticed in human nature, one of the first instincts, I believe, with a lot of people, when there's an open space, we tend to want to fill it. We fill it with things. When there's gaps of silence, many of us want to fill that space with things, with words. When I was working for another company, I met a customer. Every time I would have a conversation with this customer, I would ask him a question. What kind of flowers do you like? And there would be such long pauses. He would pause for such a long period of time before answering the question that a lot of times before he started to answer the question, I'm feeling fidgety and anxious and thinking, well, what's going on? Did I not explain myself clear enough? What's your answer? What's your answer? Then in more time in dealing with this gentleman, I realized he was just really methodic about his answers. And he never answered anyone quickly. When I was around watching him with his wife or his friends or other business colleagues that were coming around to do work for him, he spoke to them the same. There were large gaps between the question and him answering. And after years of working with this customer, I started to admire that about him. And I started to decide maybe that space doesn't need filled all the time. I started enjoying having conversations with him, and I enjoyed his pauses. And when I would bring another contractor out to his estate to give him a price on irrigation or whatever it may be, and they would start to have a conversation with him, and he would pause, I could watch them fidget and feel so awkward. And then it tickled me. I had found this new discovery of how comfortable silence could be, how much fun it could be. And as I listened and learned from a lot of business consultants who want to teach you about sales, at most professional sales conventions, when they're teaching you how to sell, and they say you're at the minute where you're explaining the contract to the customer, and you've explained everything it entails, and now you're giving them the price. Once you give the customer the price, seal your lips. Don't say another word. The customer speaks first. And you think that would be courtesy. Actually, it's a mental play, really, because what they tell you is, after you've given the price for the contract, the first person who speaks loses. Silence is golden. For day 8, seed number 8, I want you to try silence on. Pause before you answer a question. When there's a gap of silence in a conversation that people are having, allow it. Don't always feel like you need to fill that space. Sometimes silence is enough for the space. And if you have an open space in your life, such as somebody has just passed on, and they've left this enormous gap in your life that you feel there's this huge space, let it be for a while. You don't have to fill it with things. You do not have to fill it with words. Silence can be a beautiful thing. Day 8, seed 8, practice that. Practice being comfortable with the space between. Practice being comfortable with silence. I'll see you tomorrow for seed number 9.